But anyways, hello everyone. This is the first ever episode of the Midwest Miles project, where the entire purpose is to bring on people who are part of just the Midwest running scene, whether they're Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAIA, JUCO, high school, or even like post collegiates. Yeah, everyone's invited, and obviously, for me, it's something that isn't often covered. Like, you'll see the top, very, very top people get covered every now and then from around here, but for the most part, there's a lot of hidden gems. But anyways, today we have our first ever guest, Maddie Miller-Ross of Illinois-Springfield from Division 2 out of the GLVC. Maddie, thank you for taking your time out of your Sunday to join us.
Thanks for having me.
And, it's Brian Clay week. Another California trip for you, and I think back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But for now, let's just take it back a notch, because I believe this is your final season for Illinois-Springfield.
Yep, it is.
All right. So, how did you find Illinois-Springfield, for one?
So, it's actually a funny story. My coach, Tyler Pence, ran my grandpa's marathon. My grandpa is a race director. He directs the Quad Cities Marathon. And so, Tyler Pence ran that race and won it. And then he got in touch with my grandpa, obviously, and my grandpa introduced us, and he started recruiting me. I was not like a crazy high school runner. I never qualified for state or anything like that. So his goal was really to develop me through college. I immediately fell in love with the school. I loved the coaches, and I knew they were going to be people that I wanted to work really hard for. And I knew they were going to be people who were going to get me to my goals. And so it just clicked for me with them. And so I committed, and I've been here for all 4 years, and I love it. But yeah, so that's how I got to UIS, I guess.
Yeah, and coming from like being a high school senior to a freshman in college, what was like the biggest adjustment, or how difficult was it at the time? And say even the difference between like say your freshman year of college and now like you're a senior.
Yeah. I think going from a senior in high school to a freshman in college, the biggest transition was just like the consistency, and then like also the mileage. And then when you get into track, obviously the distances are longer and grueling, and as a freshman in college, that can be really scary and really intimidating, really hard. So it definitely took me, my whole freshman year, it took me to adapt to like the college training and competing against, the best Division 2 runners in the nation, and some of those being in my conference. So it definitely took me a year at least to adapt. And then as the time went on, sophomore year, I got my first conference medal. And then sophomore year track, I hit my first provisional mark. And then junior year, I kept racking up those conference medals, and it clicked for me, and I knew what I wanted, and I went after it, and I guess the rest was history. I broke all of our distance records, the 10K, the 5K, the mile. I think that's about everything. 3K. Oh.
Yeah, and like literally anyone could just go on Mile Split, TFRS, or ANET to find out how someone either performed in college or in high school.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as just straight up asking that person, like, how is it from your perspective? Like, if I don't mind asking, what were you running in high school?
Yeah.
And now you basically, like, last I remembered, you took All-American in the 3K at Nationals, plus the GLVC 3K record.
Yeah. In high school, I think my fast time was like around 18:30, if I remember correctly, and that was just like my senior year. It took me 4 years to run like 18:30, and I don't even remember my mile, maybe like 5:30 or something like that. Nothing crazy at all. Um, but yeah, I just recently placed sixth in the nation in the 5K, and then I broke the GLVC record in the 3K. So, I mean, I it took me a long time to really get those times down to what they are now, but I mean, it was worth all of the work and stuff that I put in to get there. So,
Yeah, and like bouncing off of this season, or at
hmm
least all the previous seasons and summer work, like when was that point in time that you're like it just clicked, or was it just like just a very steady uphill of
it was
progression?
it was more of a steady uphill progression, I'd say. Um, my junior year, I opened indoor at Bellarmine, and I wasn't even going into that race with the intention of like breaking our school record. And our school records are pretty good. I mean, the woman that came before me, Taryn Christie, she had some amazing times. I mean, she was an All-American, so she's legit. But I wasn't going into that race with the intention of breaking the record. I was just there to compete and get myself a good time. Um, but I finished, and my coach came over to me and was like, "You broke the record," and I was like, "Oh, like I'm I am in a whole different position than I've ever been. I'm in the best shape of my life." And from then on out, I was like, "Okay, like this is what it's going to look like for the rest of my season." So I didn't hold back. I just went after those records and tried to be one of the front runners for the conference and qualify for nationals, and I did, and I guess the rest is history, and I've just kind of been keeping on with that streak for as much as I can until I graduate this May.
Yeah, and like keeping that momentum up,
Mm-hmm.
like obviously you're gonna have meets where you're either really far in the front or the competition is either like like really strong, like say Stanford or D2 Natties or
Mm-hmm.
um the I it's either the Midwest Regional XC meet or Great Lakes. I keep forgetting which name. Like, how do you, I guess, prepare for those kinds of races? Whether you're about to just basically go out from the gun to tape, or you're about to get put up against, say, Lauren Kiley of Grand Valley State, who was national champion for cross last year.
Yeah. Um, I just think having the courage to just step on the line and like, every race is an opportunity to showcase the work that you have put in and all of the training and, bring that to fruition. And so I try not to waste any opportunity that I have, because obviously your time as a college athlete is very limited. You get 4 years most of the I got 4 years. I had to do this in 4 years. And so I just stepped to the line with the intention of like putting myself out there just the way that they have, because at some point, they were in my position going up against girls who were better than them. And so I think once you kind of build that courage and just put yourself out there, it's kind of game over. And that's kind of what I've been practicing this year, is just building that confidence and reminding myself that I belong out there. Um, and so as soon as that clicked for me, like that confidence, I think that's when I started having my best races. And at the end of the day, like I used those girls to pull me to those times and to those, that sixth place in the nation. I didn't just do that on my own. I had to stick with those girls and run with them and commit to every move that I made. And so it's just all about commitment and I guess building the courage and the confidence to go out there and put yourself out there and just remind yourself that you belong.
Yeah, and like on that topic of racing, and it's something I believe in myself, is that everyone has such a different view of the sport, whether it comes to practice, racing, or just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, no two people are the same. Like, they'll have similar beliefs, but they're not the same. And like, at least for you, at least I saw at Bellarmine slash Louisville, where at least where they host at Louisville, plus GVSU, even after the little brutal 800 after on day 2 of GVSU Big Meet, you seem to be just enjoying it regardless of how it went or how much it hurt. Like, what do you think has been the catalyst or the reason behind like why behind like that mindset or that mentality? Like, it could be literally anything, it could be multiple things, but seeing it
Yeah.
from your side.
I think just finding the enjoyment out of running, like the sport is already grueling enough. And so when you really focus in and find the enjoyment out of it and find your reason, um, that's when, the fast times come and the success comes along with it. And just like, I've been running since like little, like I started competitively running in 6th grade, but even far before that, like I said earlier, my grandpa is a race director. And so I've been in the running community since I was a toddler. And so just reminding myself that I'm doing this for like the younger version of myself, like really brings me a lot of joy, because I think like looking back, she would be so proud to see what she'd become and like all that she'd accomplish. And so just keeping up with that momentum and finding the joy in it and purpose, it really goes a long way, and it will carry you through, and it will bring you to all the success and help you accomplish the things that you've set before you. So I think that's a big part in my connection with running. So
Yeah. And has it kind of been like that mentality, like the same for pretty much as long as you've been running, or was there kind of a point in time when it was like, oh, I'm doing this, say, not just for like this reason, but for a bunch of other things as well, whether that first, that main reason being something that's gonna happen, say nationals, but the past reasons being everything leading up to
yeah,
now.
I think many runners could agree that at some point in your career you kind of drift away, whether that's burnout or just struggling with your relationship with running. And I've certainly experienced that, but luckily for me, I have a great husband who was a runner, an All-American. I have great coaches. My grandpa's in the running community, great teammates and friends and support family who really ground me and bring me back to my why. And so this sport isn't easy. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's grueling. It's, it's all things hard. But I think when you surround yourself with good people, even competitors, like I have so many competitors who have been nothing but supportive. And when those people just remind you, like, why are you doing this? It just brings everything back together, and you find your spark like that. And that's how, that's been a big thing in my career, because there has been times where I drift and I, fall out of love with it or lose my spark or whatever. But just, leaning back in, relying on those people and focusing on why I chose to do this and why I continue to do this, because it's not forced. I don't have to. I'm choosing to. So when I remember that and just find that good perspective again, it all just comes back and clicks together for me. So.
Yeah, and like back to what you said about like your competitors, at least that's the nature of the sport. It's not just running, it's also meeting other people and then building
Absolutely.
lifelong friendships. Like, whether on your team in the GLVC or like way out, say just someone on the other side of the country, like who are some of the people that have definitely played a role in it? Like, obviously there's a chance that too many people you could name, but just some of them.
Yeah, those state girls. I mean, at Stanford last week, I didn't perform the way that I wanted to, but there was a time in that race where one of the girls just patted me on the back, and like that little sentiment can go a really long way, because at the end of the day, we're all here for a similar reason, and it's to push ourselves. And move past our limit and go for things that you'd never think you'd go for before. And so just having those people, some of the girls from Lewis and SBU and all of the different schools from the conference, there's just so many great competitors out there where it's like, yes, we're going head to head like every weekend, but as soon as we cross that line, it's hugs, it's high fives, it's, congratulating each other on whoever took the win. And I think that's just really important to me because at the end of the day, like, I don't really care to be remembered for like a conference win or an All-American title. Like, I want to be remembered for being a good person. And I think a lot of the women that I compete with would have to agree with me on that. And so when we're just constantly showing up and supporting each other, it makes such a difference in the sport, especially once you get to nationals, because there's quite a few of us who are there by ourselves, without our team. And so when you show up for each other and just a little pat on the back or like a high five before the race or just giving each other a hug afterwards, it can really go a long way. And so I think that's one of the really inspiring things in this sport is just like, we're all here for similar reasons and we're all doing hard things. And so just, although we're competing with each other and against each other, we're also there to support each other. And I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and this is gonna just gradually build into Brian Clay as well, because it's a big meet. There are,
yeah.
I don't even know how many people racing. It was just a bunch of scrolling, but like,
yeah,
how excited are you for the going back to California to Azusa Pacific for the biggest meet of the year aside from nationals? Like, what are you most excited for, or the things you are looking forward to outside of, say, the idea of trying to hit a national qualifier?
I'm really excited to see what my teammates have to give out there. The 3 teammates that are going with me, it'll be their first time racing at Brian Clay. And so I'm just really excited for them to get that experience because it's such a cool meet to race at. And you're running with the best of the best runners are be there. And so just to even experience it and step on that line with people and know that like, okay, I belong here, it pulls you to a good time no matter what. And it's just something to be proud of. And so I'm really excited to see what they have and how well they're going to perform. They're going to do great. I just know it. And then also just, it's bittersweet because it's my last Brian Clay meet, my last one. And so I've gone to California all 4 years, and I just want to go out there and finish strong and have fun, really. I think that's the me right now is like, I've checked kind of everything off my list. And so now it's really about having fun. And when I have fun, usually good times, fast times, that. And so I just want to go out there, put myself out there and have a fun day, have a fun race, see what I can do.
Yeah, and bouncing from Stanford to Brian Clay, like, you were in the 10K at Stanford, yeah. And then I think you were entered in for the 5K at Brian Clay.
Yep.
Like, what do you think, like, outside of the fact that it's half the distance, like, what do you think will change race-wise, at least in terms of, like, how you approach it, what could have gone better, what could have needed more work, and what went well last time?
I think there's quite a few things I could have done better at Stanford. I mean, I just didn't have it that day, and it happens. Like, I was on a roll for a good 4 months, and at some point it was going to fall apart and I was going to have an off day, and that was my off day, and I accepted that for what it is. And that's just the part of the sport. A mile and a half, 2 miles in, I just knew that it wasn't going to be my day. And once my mind accepted that, it fell apart. And so I think going into Brian Clay is just working on staying focused, staying calm when it gets hard, because it's going to get hard. Like, that's the sport. It's going to get hard at some point. You have to be ready for that. Also, just making moves. During Stanford, moves were made, and I wasn't aggressive enough to go with. and I didn't commit when I should have. And so this coming week at Brian Clay, my goal is just to commit to those moves. If I don't make them, somebody else does. I need to commit, and I need to commit quick. And just staying, on my toes, and but also staying calm and not freaking out when it takes off, because it's going to be fast. I know that, and I'm ready for that, and I'm excited to see what time I run, and I think I'm in for a good one this week, so I'm excited.
Nice. And that was the main topic of the week, or at least for this, Brian Clay. It's going to be a big meet, and going to steer off topic a bit to close this out, but some random questions I had written down because I couldn't think of anything else to talk about.
Okay.
A song that you would pick for pre-race and one that you would completely avoid.
Ooh, I have so many. Okay. Gives You Hell by the All American Rejects, and Move Along by All American Rejects. All in It by Justin Bieber. Let's see. Sabrina Carpenter, Anything. You're on Your Own Kid by Taylor Swift. Those are some of my go-to. And Tumblr Girls and Lady Killers by G-Eazy. So good. And then songs that I would avoid. Oh God. Anything sad and depressing. I can't. Some of my teammates love that stuff before races. I need some upbeat. I need the vibes. I need to get in the zone with some upbeat. So anything slow, I can't even think of. There's so many Taylor Swift songs that I have to steer clear from. But yeah, nothing slow. That does not get mood.
Let's see. If you could pick any field event to be good at, what would it be? And you can't say multis.
Ooh. Oh man. Javelin. I saw that I forgot about that event. I feel like that would be fun. But don't you fret. I have thrown shot put before, so check out my tippers. Mm-hmm.
So I pull up TFers and you're gonna have a shot put on there.
Have a shot put on there. Is it far? Absolutely not. But it's on there.
Was it one of those things that you just got asked to do, or was it one of those things where the meet you needed to fill up spots to count as a meet, like we would see with Boston U putting their distant guys in the 200?
It was my freshman year. I was on crutches, and we needed to hit numbers, so I was in there throwing shot put. Yep.
Love to see it. Could always make a resurgence in the field events unattached.
Yes, I could.
All right. Doesn't have to be a runner. Preferably should be a runner. Or preferably hope it's a runner. Someone you look up to, male or female. I'm totally not stealing this from one of my friends who had me on his pod the other week.
Grant Fisher and probably Parker Valby. Those are my two. Right and true. I love Grant Fisher. I'm his number one fan. So, Grant, if you see this, I love you. Number one.
Yep. Grant, we love you more than bacon.
We love you more than bacon. That's my champ.
All right. Shoe rotation.
Ooh. I'm a Nike gal till the day I die. I love a good Nike Infinity run. I do all my workouts in the Alphas. Love the Alphas. I race in the Dragonfly Elite 2s. So good. And then I just love a good old-fashioned Nike peg. So, I mean, the Zoom flies are pretty nice. I like the Zoom Fly 4s, but they don't sell them anymore. You have to go on, eBay. But anything for a good shoe. But yeah, Nike. Anything Nike, pretty much. Just no Invincible. I don't do Invincible.
Why no Invincibles?
The toe box is too big. I have narrow feet and high arches, so the toe box on an Invincible is just far too big. Can't do it.
And which version of the peg do you think is the most superior if you haven't stuck to just one of the models?
I haven't really stuck. For some reason, I want to say peg 37s. For some
I feel
reason,
like
that
I feel like
number.
that's a universal pick.
Okay, yeah.
The
Those are pretty
37s.
tried and true. Yeah.
And then a few more. So I DM'd your coaches asking for
Oh, God.
questions they would want to ask you. So there is one serious one and three unserious ones.
Oh, great.
First unserious one. Wait, first serious one and only
Okay.
one. If you were to give the younger women on the team one piece of advice, what would that be?
Ooh. Oh, boy. I think just, it's gonna get hard. If it hasn't already, it's gonna get hard, but just remember why you chose to do this, and find your reason, find your purpose, but also find enjoyment out of it. Like, don't make running your identity. It does not need to be your identity. But find joy out of it and just show up for the younger version of yourself, because when you have a good purpose, you're going to be successful. When you have good intention and you're showing up for yourself, putting in the work, and just give yourself grace too, because this sport is hard and you have to give yourself grace. It's not do or die, it's running. And I think just having that reminder every once in a while of like, why do I do this? Reminding yourself, keeping yourself grounded, and just show up for your the younger version of yourself. I think that's what I would have to say to that.
Love to see it. And starting with the first unserious one, what do you prefer, glitter or cheetah print?
Oh, glitter! Glitter in sequins till the day I die.
All right, second one. I am probably gonna butcher this
Okay.
name. Real haze coffee or DIY at home haze?
Oh, Haze. Real Haze coffee. That's our coffee shop. Had it twice today. So, I'm going to Haze.
And last but not least, could you beat your husband, Court Ross, in a race right now, and what distance?
Oh, God. He's always fit, so that's not fair. If I'm gonna beat him in anything right now, I don't know. He can still drop a sub 5 mile. So, I don't know. Maybe the longer the better right now. But he's gonna see this and he's gonna want to race. So, rest in peace to me. But I think I could beat him in something. But not everything.
I should clip that part and post it.
Okay.
Be like the first thing I post.
Oh, God. He's gonna be like, what? Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, that was it from from your own coaches.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't know how to close these out. I never know how to, but yeah. Anyways, good luck at Brian Clay this week and on. Oh wait, I just completely remembered. I was gonna ask you what your goals were for the season.
Oh.
Besides from Brian Clay onwards.
Okay.
At least for the rest of the year.
I think, like I said previously, like, I've pretty much checked off everything that I've wanted to do, so just kind of keeping up with that momentum and going into conference, getting myself another title would be pretty cool. Qualifying for Nats in the 5 and the 10. And then possibly walking away with another would be really cool, but also just having fun. Like, that's a big goal of mine, is just, again, showing up for the younger version of myself, keeping that momentum, and just having fun, because this is all going to end, and I just want to find enjoyment out of it and just be remembered for being a kind competitor and just stepping on that line and giving everything that I have. So as long as I do that, I'll leave this program real happy. So, but those are my goals.
Nice. Again, good luck at Brian Clay, but I'm also saying that like I'm not going to be there too.
I'm going to see you.
Yep. And good luck on your season. This is Maddie Miller-Ross, Illinois-Springfield, signing off.
Yay, thanks!